The Fujicast is an independent loading zone production.
Thursday, the 2nd of April.
The Fujicast.
Hello, Kev.
Hello, Neil.
You're not feeling too good today, a bit tired today.
Yeah, I'm a bit tired. Yeah, it's been a long week.
But you're all right otherwise, are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm worried about it. Do I need to take your temperature or anything?
No, nothing like that.
You're
nothing
okay.
like that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. On that note, by the way, there's some weird stuff happened over the last 24 hours. Did you see the K-pop star who tried to... We were talking about... I know you said you don't get involved in it personally yourself, but the K-pop star who decided to do an April Fool's prank by telling people that he'd contracted COVID-19. How funny he thought that would be. But it's...
I don't even know what K-pop is.
You've not heard of K-pop?
No, what is it? Is it like cereal?
That's Cocoa Pops. No, K-pop is like the sort of the trendy sort of pop sort of Asian pop market.
Oh, like a boy band or something.
Well, it's K-pop. K-pop is
Well, I would imagine his pop is well and truly popped now. I can't imagine he'll be in too much demand.
Yeah. He's known as a member of the Korean pop groups JYJ and TVXQ, and then you've absolutely lost me. I know no more about that. I know I can almost see my Jack going, "Don't you know what K-pop is, boys?"
I have no idea.
No idea. What did you get up to? Oh, you had your big meal last night. How did the kids perform?
It was great, actually. They were really cool. I'll be fleecing me out of a $5 tip. But,
oh no, he was accepting. Well, don't blame him actually. Yeah, well, that's what you do at restaurants. Yeah,
it was cool. I dressed up. I put a tie on and everything. And Gemma asked me if I was going to a funeral.
You don't normally wear. I don't think I've ever seen you wear a tie.
I know, I don't wear ties very often at all. That's why it is a funeral tie. It's about the only one I've got.
Right. Well, I was going to say, is it your old rugby club one or something? Because you would have had one in the rugby clubs, wouldn't you?
I did. I have 3 rugby club ties, and they were all very kind of bright red and green. And I've got one, my other tie, my favourite tie probably, is from the Houses of Parliament, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah, we played rugby against the MPs once, and they gave us a tie. And I've also got a rugby jersey signed by Gordon Brown.
Did you give them an easy time?
I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Well, it was good though. They took us the night before we played the rugby game. They took us to the House of Parliament, and we went to the. They showed us all around the chambers and into the actual, I don't know what you call it, the Commons room or Commons or whatever.
Well, where they sit. Yeah.
And we went to the Red Lion pub, which is in the basement. And had a pint with a few MPs.
Didn't we talk about the Red Lion pub before? I think we did, didn't we? Because they have their own special Red Lion. Because there is a Red Lion. Oh no, we walked past the Red Lion when we were in. Do you remember those times, Kev, where we used to be able to walk around London? Do you remember we were close to Downing Street? And there's a Red Lion down there, and you said to me, "Oh, there's another Red Lion, but actually in the Houses of Parliament," which I never knew. So they have their own pub inside the Houses of Parliament.
Yeah, in the basement. It's a real spit and sawdust place as well.
Yeah. Proper.
Right.
Yeah, proper. Right, let's get into these questions then so we can pack you off back to bed. Sam, well, I got a load off the Facebook group, actually, if you don't mind, today. Sam Megs, hey all, just thought I'd share a nice bit of community in my little neck of the woods. It's not so much a question, but something I thought you'd like to hear, actually. Kev, myself and at last count, 10 local photographers have all teamed up to give away up to 100 mini portrait sessions for the doctors and nurses at our local hospital this September. A small way to give back, but what I really loved is that it all started as a handful of us, and we keep getting messages from other local photographers saying, "Can we join you as well?" I thought it was a really nice bit of community. So Sam Meggs, I was pleased to see that. Patrick Betcher, long-time listener, first-time poster, and I hope everyone is hanging in there. I do have a question. Is there anyone in this group who offers family and or child portraits in a more candid style? There's a reason I'm reading his question out to you. I suppose it might fit under the Day in the Life umbrella. I'm wondering how you market and offer this to potential clients. I've dabbled in the more conventional pose stuff. I realised quickly that it wasn't really my cup of tea. I'm wondering how you all might approach the marketing. After all, a grown man lying on his belly in your living room for a few hours is a strange proposition. Maybe worth noting that these are the early days of the business and word of mouth is limited to my wife mostly. Thank you, Patrick Betcher. What would you do if you, because you've done Day in the Life and you're blooming good at it. What would you, if you were starting again, how would you market that?
Yeah, he's right though. It's tough for guys, especially, you know, kind of middle-aged men with grey hair and stuff to be invited in.
Yeah.
Emily, you know, friend of the show, Emily Rennie, she seems to have this totally sorted. Really, she's flying with her business.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it's because it's a gender thing at all, because it certainly isn't. But I don't think it helps. But you know, a lot of my clients, when I do the day in the life stuff, there's few of them that I would like to do are typically ex-wedding clients. You know, they've gone on to have kids, and you know, they kind of email me and say, "Oh, you know, remember that thing you did at our wedding? Can you come around our house and do it?" So the last one I picked up was Albie's football teacher. So
really?
I'm going to go and do theirs. Yeah. So it is word of mouth, and people.
So it is really word of mouth. I suppose how would you, if you were starting though and you had no portfolio, how do you think you'd go about suggesting on your website that I do day in the life? I suppose really just go out and do a couple for friends.
Yeah, you got to get a portfolio. You got to do some stuff for free. You know, get some pictures online.
When you actually go out and do these things, how long are you promising to be with a family? Because I know I stood in for you once when you were I think you were in Spain. So I had to take on the next. I felt a bit nervous about, because I've seen your day in the life and they're pretty good. And I was thinking, there's no way I could do what Kev does. But I wasn't sure how long to spend with them. I think I was about 9 hours in the end with them, because we went all the way through to bedtime.
Yeah, I mean, you need to discuss this beforehand. I typically offer 3 hours, like working day type time, or morning to bedtime, but very, very few of those come through. And yeah, you know, if it's a baby, typically 3 hours, because they just sleep. You know, they just sleep all the time, which is what I wish I was doing. But they, you know, if they're asleep all the time, there's no point being there really. But if they're a little bit older, you know, the birth stories and stuff obviously are very. You can't just say, you know, how long it'll be. So.
How long were you with, I know you said you can't say how long they're going to be, but looking back at it, how long, when you did that amazing birth story that led to a relationship you've had with that family ever since, actually, how long were you with them that day?
I started about 8 in the morning, and I think the birth was, about 6 p.m, probably finished about 9.
All right. So hopefully there's some food for thought there, Patrick. Nantosealants. So I had an idea for a fun project while isolating at home. But that could continue on in the future and follow me at work. Oh, that sounds a bit cryptic. It won't be about the quality of the images, more something to entertain me. My question is, who runs side Instagram accounts for little side projects? I'm just not keen to clog up my main account with the shenanigans of this project. Yeah, but you don't have any other? Do you just keep the standard one that you've got for your Instagram?
No, I have a street photography one as well.
Oh, of course you do. Yeah.
Called Mullins on the Street,
yes.
But I don't really post to that very much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a good idea actually to have a little side Instagram account, rather than, you know, your kind of corporate marketing type stream. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's a little bit annoying to keep having to change accounts and everything, but you know, I think it's a reasonable
would you not
thing to do.
mix and match some of your private stuff? Because you do it on your main account. See stuff for the kidlings.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. I think the street photography one, I just didn't want to kind of confuse the potential clients, wedding clients,
right,
with you know, random snaps of street pictures.
Yeah.
But yeah, the kids and my kind of everyday life I put on my normal Instagram account for sure. But yeah, the street photography stuff I just wanted to keep a little bit separate. It's weird because I logged into it last night for the first time in a long time. It's got like 2,000 followers now, and
wow.
I don't even put anything on there.
There we go. That's what it's like being a K-pop star. That's it, Kevin Pop. That's what it stands for. My little one that my little side project, my bathroom travels one.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's only got 62 followers though. It's quite sad, but it's I don't know, if you go and check it out, you could be a follower, please. If we could get it to 100, I'd be so chuffed.
Well, you better read out the name of it then.
Bathroom Travels. That's all it is. And people are thinking, what's Bathroom Travels? Bathroom Travels is just pictures of toilets wherever I've travelled in the world.
That's disgusting.
And that's why you have 62 followers.
Yeah. Do you think that might be the problem? Yeah. Well, does have some quite interesting ones. It's got ones that were in old bomb shelters. A pink.
I think I sent you one once, didn't I?
Did you ever send me one? Because you can contribute to this.
I sent one. I can't remember where I was now, but there was a toilet with a dead body on the floor, the silhouette of a dead body.
No, you didn't send me that because that would be on here.
I did send it to you. I'm sure I did.
Dig it out because that one I could do with.
Okay, I'll send it.
That'd be brilliant. So yeah, Baths and Travels. I think it's a good idea to have a fun extra Instagram. It's a nice idea.
Yeah.
Hi Neil, hi Kev, this is Mark Dell. Love listening to the show whilst walking around the beautiful Buckinghamshire countryside with my faithful German Shepherd. Just keep that distancing, remember? This isolation thing, he says, is weird. Okay, on to the question. I've been a Fuji addict since 2011 and until a neuropathic disease cut my wedding photography out, I now shoot mainly with a new shiny X100V. You lucky sausage, you. I'm considering doing a UK YouTube video on how the X100V works with off-camera flash and stuff like that. What do you think? Do it, is what I say.
Yeah.
What would you... You've made a lot of videos on how stuff works on YouTube. How do you go about...
I even have stuff that works tattooed on my arm.
You do? How do you go about actually planning one, Kev? What would you... If you wanted to make a video, how would you go about doing it?
Well, I think, you do need to plan it. You can't just kind of sit there and waffle. I typically write up what I'm going to talk about first, and then I will tee up the camera, the video camera, think about lighting and all that kind of stuff. And obviously audio is critical for YouTube. You've got to have good audio. And
do you think audio's a big part of the battle, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody wants to watch TV when it's out of sync, do they? No. So you need to have good audio.
That would look weird, but also sort of warmth and richness and things like that help. Do you have to move around a lot, do you think? Or could you just... A lot of people just do their YouTube videos on one desk, don't they? And that's done.
Well, I typically do, yeah. But if you're going to be showing off a technique like off-camera flash, presumably you're going to need kind of wide angles and models and all that kind of stuff, I guess.
Well, Mark, I'd just go and do it if I were you. And then send us your link. And talking of video, Fran Corbett's work caught my eye in the Fujicast Facebook group last week for the work she's been doing with her family, as they're all locked inside during COVID-19 in the country she now lives and works in, which is France. Now, most of us have been making photo stories. Not all of us. Still pictures, documenting everything from those first waking moments with sleepy eyes, wondering if this is another Tuesday or another Sunday, to the tantrums of homeschooling. My hat is firmly now tipped to the amazing teachers and the work that you do. I've never been so aware of how special a breed you folks are as well. Then to the meal times, the cooking, the baking, the family sat in front of TV watching these events unfold to bedtime and repeat. And all those stories are fascinating, but I was absolutely captivated by Fran's short video diaries of life in lockdown. Particularly because, as you're about to learn, up to this moment she was effectively not really aware of how the video function worked on her camera. Perhaps slightly unfair, but the results are authentically incredible. So I wanted to take some time to talk with Fran on today's show. I know these are strange times to say the following, Fran, but let's imagine we're free of social distancing and nasty little unwelcome viral visitors. France. This is where you've settled for your life and photography, which for me is like living the dream, Fran. Now, what's the French photographic scene like, normally?
Well, actually, down here, Neil, most of the wedding photographers, and there's quite a few of them, are English.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there are a few French photographers. There's one female one particularly who's been doing documentary photo for weddings for many, many years. She's an excellent photographer. But it's a kind of smallish community, but it's, yeah.
So you have this romantic cliche artisan notion that you're all sat round sampling beautiful glasses of chilled white wine, discussing your latest shoots in a cafe exclusively reserved for photographers and artists.
No, not at all.
Tell me that's what
there's a sense of competition, perhaps. I don't know, not for me. There's one other photographer that I speak to, and everybody else sort of keeps to themselves with the odd exchange on a message. It's very funny because we're all going after the same gigs, I guess.
Yeah. How did you end up settling in France then?
Well, my husband's French, and we'd lived in Australia for 3 years, and we decided to come back to Europe. And he wanted his children. I've got 2 boys before him, and then 3 sons with him. So that's 5. Got my own 5 aside. And he wanted his children to know France and the language and everything else. And we ended up down here purely from, I looked at weather. I couldn't afford the south of France, and the southwest, the weather looked beautiful. So we just turned up.
So I've seen your films, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But you, what language do you? In the films, you talk English mainly. But what language do you usually speak?
I speak English. My French is pretty shocking.
Oh no!
Yeah, my kids are really embarrassed whenever I open my mouth and speak French in front of them. They just crawl away.
So I'm due to work in France at Château de Saint-Paul, Dordogne, September.
Oh,
is it a place you know?
I've heard of it because somebody contacted me about that chateau recently, and I haven't been there. It looks beautiful, but for me, I have done some work in the Dordogne, and it's gorgeous. It's about 2 hours from me. And
you're surrounded by chateaus, of course, which make incredible event venues. I would imagine that the wedding scene is, apart from the winter, of course, is very much an outdoor scene, isn't it?
Completely outdoor. In fact, that's the selling point for most of them. They all have to have, they don't all have them, but a lot of them have like a large barn or an area in case it does rain. It happens, but not very often. It's all outdoor, the meal, everything. So how much of your work is portrait and how much of it is wedding? Because I know you do both. Well, no, it's mainly just wedding because I'm really actually quite new to it. I only really got into it, started for weddings 2018, and I've just continued with it. And what I'm really hoping to do is continue with the weddings and actually do family documentary. That's what I'd really love to do. Putting my own family out there, maybe others will allow me to intrude into their homes. Then you'd really need to learn French. Oh, yeah, probably not the French. I don't think the French would have me do that. I'd have to do it with, I can't imagine the French would be up for that at all, no. Really? They're very private. They're very private. Oh, so day in the life stuff wouldn't really be a French thing. It would be more the English living in France. Or it would be anyone, anywhere. I can't, I'm not going to aim at the French market until perhaps I've got a few under my belt. How long have you been a photographer? I know you said weddings then since 2018. How long before that as a photographer? Or is this all quite a new venture? Well, it really is quite new because I've had a camera. I had a camera for years, a Nikon, and that's how we say it. And I just used to sort of pick it up, and I learned manual, and then just sort of didn't bother doing anything really with it. I just didn't have much time. And a friend of mine at the end of 2017, unfortunately, I mean, she's fine now. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she called me up and she said, "We're going to document this, Fran. I want you to come and photograph it." Wow. And I went over and we took some photos, and we had a good laugh. And I wasn't happy with the photos that I took, and I didn't know how it was going to work out for her. And that's when I was driven to really look into how to use my camera properly. And it just sort of went off from there. So let's talk about what's going on at the moment. We have a reasonable fix on what we feel like in our own countries, be that emotional, political, or whatever. What's the feeling like in France, in your community? I know that actually you're quite out in the sticks, aren't you? But have you got any sense of what it's like amongst the community, or have you really distanced? Well, we have really distanced. The only things that we are hearing and understanding, because I literally Philippe, that's my husband, and myself, I think we've been out twice in the last 3 weeks. But what we understand is that the gendarmes are fining people left, right and centre. Right. That there have been the local wineries have been helping, I wouldn't imagine they're donating, have been giving alcohol for another local place to make hand sanitizer. Wow. Which is good. Right. That's remaining local. Yeah. It looks like there are local groups making masks, handmade masks to help. And as far as I'm aware, there are a few cases here. And in fact, there's a few cases in my village, but I don't think it's too bad here yet because we are really out of the way. So I was really drawn to your COVID-19 family project that's on your website, which is littlewingphotos.com. You started to make short films about your family life in lockdown. Let's get the tech stuff done first of all. What camera are you using? I'm using 3. I'm using a Nikon D500 with a lens baby 45, and that's what's giving the kind of soft, dreamy look to some of the footage. I'm also using the Fuji X-T3. Yep. And I'm also using, more often than not, actually, a little DJI Osmo Pocket, which I'm really impressed with the quality of it. And I bought that just for, wedding photography to maybe hold it whilst I'm clicking. But I'm very, very happy. And It obviously you can't say that the colours and everything are all the same. They're not, but I'm not too worried about that.
Well, I was going to say, grades together reasonably well, actually. I wouldn't have thought you were using 3 cameras when I've watched the films.
No, okay, wow, that is a surprise.
No. So why did you decide to do it as a film rather than stills? You're a stills photographer, but here we are now doing this as a movie.
I know. I have no idea about filming. None. I never, ever, ever, ever film. And when I heard that Macron was going to give the initial speech a few weeks ago, I think on the 12th, Thursday the 12th, and the kids were interested in watching TV for the first time ever, the news, because they knew he was going to say the schools were going to close. So I thought, do you know, I should actually film it. And then from there, and then it just took off. I'm compelled to do it. Yeah. I think I've taken one still picture during the whole 3 weeks. And that's normally all I think about.
So you've just taken those stills. It's all been video. It's an amazing document for your family, isn't it, this?
I think so, yeah. I mean, they're kind of getting a bit fed up with it, but I'm going to keep going because we don't know where this is going to lead. And the one thing I'm worried about is that my little films, I mean, they are sort of personal to us. They're not very, what's the word? There's not much gravity to them. But we are very concerned about what's going on, clearly. But as you know, humans can't live in a state of fear for a very long time. They just can't. And I think gradually people just start getting on with their lives, don't they?
You're absolutely right. And when we have children, 2 children, so coming up to 10 years old, he's more bothered about at the moment with a 9-year-old brain thinking, will I be able to have my birthday? Because he watched his brother Jack just have his 12th. No birthday at all in terms of going out and seeing his friends. It was very much everybody stayed in and ate pizza. That's how life is for pretty much everybody at the moment. Everybody I know.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, and you can say to them, "This is going on," and they're like, "Right, okay, well, that's bad." But anyway,
they're dealing with it with a sense of normality. And I saw your kids in the film, and it was kind of cheering to see that life go on. And I think that emergency package from Auntie June or Auntie who was it? Who sent the aeroplanes?
Yes, my Auntie Jerry had sent a package.
Auntie Jerry, that was it. Yeah. So it's lovely to see stuff like that. And you said that they've been fairly good with it so far. Have they said, "Mum, put the camera down" much?
Well, the beauty of it is they're now sort of used to me doing it. So now they don't, because the one thing I don't want them to do is to act in front of the camera.
No.
And so now they're so used to me doing it, they're just used to it. They really are. They just carry on as normal and get on with whatever it is that they're doing. And I don't know whether they're embarrassed that I'm occasionally shouting at them on camera, but time will tell.
Have you found it a cathartic process?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It saved me because, like everybody else, we're worried. We're really worried. We're worried about our finances. I mean, I know everybody is. And this is one place where I can sort of do the filming, and you know what it's like. You've got a camera in front of you and you're just concentrating on what you're seeing through that. And then with the editing, you sort of you lose yourself there for a while, and it's wonderful.
What have you been editing with?
Premiere Pro, which I only bought in February, so that's why I'm really not sure what I'm doing. But I felt the only way to learn is to do it, right? And the school of YouTube has been brilliant.
And I like this. You've been shutting yourself away with a microphone to do some commentary to the pieces as well. Where everybody, and I say this to everybody about sound, everybody has a voice. I notice sometimes you're almost whispering into the microphone. I think you're. But it's wonderful. Has that been a fun process too?
I haven't really thought about it. I've just done it, and I've done it into whatever camera or usually my phone that I had on me, and nothing was prepared. It's literally just whatever I'm thinking at that time.
It's wonderful. It makes them into real diary pieces. So I suppose for anybody who's thinking about, we're inside, we're making photo projects, etc. You're living proof of a stills photographer that's thought, do you know what? I'm going to turn that video button on and see what I can make of it.
Absolutely, and I really highly recommend it, guys, especially you guys that I love in the FujiCast group, and Neil and Kevin. What a great group they are! You've really created.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Just do it, because when I tell you, I mean, none of the films are steady. I've got like the shakes when I'm holding a camera.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, but that's what I mean. People should just do it. They should just do it. And I think also in wedding photography, I think it's not a bad thing to be able to do a little bit of filming.
I think you're setting yourself up with a skill for the future, aren't you?
Well, that's part of it too.
How long does the project go on for?
I don't know. Maybe as long as this confinement goes on for, or not. We'll see. We'll see when I get the. Can I say when I get the arse with it, or do you have to beat that out?
No, I think you're right. You said it, not me, Fran. or as soon as one of the family members locks all your cameras away where you can't find them one day. Mum, that's enough. Stop.
Yeah, I think it'll be more my French husband has a what do they call it? Manifestation, and smashes up everything. I think he definitely has the derriere with it. Definitely.
My thanks to Fran Corbett for her time, and you must go and check out the website littlewingphotos.com/new-blog. We'll put the link on the FujiCast show page today, so definitely one for you to go look at. Because seeing the family at play in video and seeing how they're coping in France, it's a fascinating project. And if you fancy doing something like that, Fran Corbett is in the private FujiCast Facebook group, which you're very welcome to join us on, and I'm sure she won't mind taking some answering some questions. Just open up the floodgates for you, Fran, on how she's been doing it. A couple of notices at the end. A couple of notices sounds like a meeting. This meeting's almost adjourned. Max Young, g'day Neil, g'day Kev. How's it going in sunny old England? Are you surviving this crazy world at the moment? I'm thinking of taking more personal photos than I have in a long time because of home isolation. Here's hoping things return to normality sooner rather than later. Regards, mate Max. You haven't taken a lot of photos though, have you, Kev, personally? I know I haven't taken... I mean, that X100F that I've got has been sat on the sideboard. I've not used it.
No, I haven't really either. I've been too busy kind of trying to deal with other stuff. But yeah, I mean, go, do it. Don't regret it. It's better to have rubbish pictures and never look at them than have no pictures and regret not taking them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ali here from Ali Stewart Photography. This might mean that you're fired one day, Kev, for just for one show. Kev and Neil, I put you both in brackets, to be fair. Why were we in brackets in this email?
Don't know.
I remember that Gemma said something very profound and sensible at Fuji X. It would be good to hear her in the podcast as a voice of calm and in all things plumbing and Sauvignon Blanc. Sauvignon Blanc. A nice Sauvignon Blanc, please. Sauvignon Blanc related. Is that what she drinks?
Yeah, quite a lot of it.
Especially at the moment. Can she come on the show one day? It's like me knocking on the door. Hello, Kev. Can Gemma come out to play?
Yeah, she'll do it. She always listens as well. We'll do it. We'll get her on here.
Do a show. Now, I'm worried about you. You're not feeling too good, are you, today?
I'm okay.
Sure.
I'm okay. I'm going to go straight back to bed in a minute.
What a nice idea.
Yeah.
Go and just go and take it easy for the afternoon.
And
yeah. I'll drop Gemma a text now and say, could you take some Sauvignon Blanc up to your husband who's luxuriating in the main suite?
Yeah. I've got to try and get around these blinking dogs and kids and guinea pigs and God knows what else we got living in this house.
Don't be mean. Right, I might see you. I might see Gemma tomorrow. We'll see who's fittest.
Okie doke. All right.
Okay, all done. Sorry you're feeling shit, Kev.
That's all right. I'm okay.
Oh, hang on. Microphone's still on. Edit that out.
The FujiCast is an independent Loading Zone production. Email the show with your questions and words of wisdom to click@fujicast.co.uk. Email any complaints and political nonsense to our wives, who will deal with your comments in their own good time and in their own good way.